Welcome to the X Corner. I'm here adding that mutation to the superhero crew still. I'll be covering the X comics for the weeks of March 27th and April 3rd, 2019. These weeks we had 8 comics, so it'll be a lot of quick hits only. So we got Age of X-Men and the X-Tremists, number 2. Marvel Comics Presents number 3, Mr. and Mrs. X number 9, X-Force number 5, Age of X-Men Prisoner X number 2, Domino Hotshots number 2, Major X number 1, and Uncanny X-Men number 15. Spoilers, of course. We'll start with Age of X-Men and the X-Tremists number 2, written by Lee Williams, art by Georges Giannetti. So the X-Tremists cause the fire of the X-Men's fight to make it look like they're doing something. Blob's in love with Psylocke. They're keeping the pregnant lady chained up in the basement. And Psylocke goes to confront Blob at his house and seems to be about to make his dreams come true. Yet another Age of X-Men comic that's just about forbidden love. We get it, nerds need love too. Move along. 5 out of 10. Then there's Marvel Comics Presents number 3, written by Charles Soule and art by Paulo Sequeira. Wolverine and Sylvie are in 1962, and the Demon tricks them into fighting him inside a nuclear detonation. It didn't work because magic and mutant healing factor, so the Demon is sent back. The rest of the story is Sylvie, now of age, and Logan get to know each other, and eventually do it. But does Sylvie have ulterior motives? This started out as ridiculous, as somehow Wolvie survived inside of a nuke. I guess he was partially protected by the magic, but still, both of them definitely have cancer now. The love story that followed was okay, but unless it leads to something, it was pretty throwaway. 6 out of 10. Then we have Mr. and Mrs. X number 9, written by Kelly Thompson, with art by Oscar Balzadois. Gambit finds a treasure, which turns out to be a 6-armed baby. Meanwhile, Spiraler is protecting Rogue's body as she psychically goes through therapy. Rogue figures out all the time she lost control of her powers was due to fear, and she now plans to control that fear. Spiraler is about to get overwhelmed by Mojo's forces, but Gambit shows up to help, and Rogue wakes up, kissing him, back being in control. Mojo then shows up to smack them all down. As always, the art was amazing, and it was a good issue for people unfamiliar with Rogue's background to catch up. I'm glad she's back, and I like the baby and Spiral story since she didn't seem to know the treasure was a very familial looking shaped baby. Loving this series still, 8 out of 10. Next we have X-Force number 5, written by Ed Brisson and art by Damian Crucero. Strife shows up with the MLF accusing Kid Cable of being a terrorist. We flash to the future where Kid Cable runs a rebel cell of some sort, but all of a sudden time starts getting all whacked out. Blacksmith shows up to tell Kid Cable his older self failed to save the time stream, and he has to go back and do it. All Kid Cable's friends get wiped out of existence, and he goes back in time to 20 years in the future to see the mansion destroyed, as we saw in Extermination. Strife is from the future too, and he sees Kid Cable's actions as a terrorist act to wipe out his reality. So he comes back to end him, and make sure his future survives. Damn timey-wimey stuff. This was mostly a fill-in issue that let us know how Kid Cable came back, but we really didn't need to see that, I don't think. Strife being sort of a good guy is interesting, but we'll see where it goes. 7 out of 10. Then we get Age of X-Men Prisoner X number 2, written by Vita Elia, art by Germaine Peralta. Bishop is bullied in prison as he tries to figure out who gave him the note from the last issue. Beast kicks his ass, but afterwards gives him some advice about laying low. Keeps asking around until he eventually meets up with Danny Moonstar. She runs off when Bishop's sister Shard shows up, but Bishop doesn't remember her. He's then attacked by all his former selves, and we see he's being taken by the Faceless Guards at Warden Forge's request to re-educate him. This Age of X-Men mini is still interesting, because there's a TV's prisoner feel to it, where we're not sure what's real and what's not, and what the central mystery is. If it was a TV show, I could see it all being in his head as he lies dying in a gutter, but let's hope it's not that cliche. The art here is the best in all these minis too, so that doesn't hurt. 8.5 out of 10. Then we get Domino Hotshots number 2, written by Gail Simone, art by David Baldion. Deadpool shows up to get the artifact and tells Domino just to leave. Outlaw's infected by the thing and is getting all trippy. Black Widow and the new Hotshots escalate the situation, attacking Deadpool. Domino has to talk him down before he kills them all. Eventually Deadpool joins the team and Domino makes everyone swear they'll destroy the artifact when they find it. Just then, Tony Stark attacks with 3 drone Iron Man suits to stop them from continuing the mission. They fight, and Diamondback blows up the drones but destroys the plane in the process. Baldion's art is on fire, and I love the way Simone had Domino talk Deadpool down. Domino knows that people see Deadpool as a joke, but he can kill everyone once he loses it. It seems the artifact is causing everyone to go nuts as they vie for it, though. We'll see if it's addressed, because I can't see Tony Stark trying to murder people all of a sudden. Good issue, though. 8 out of 10. Then there's Major X number 1, written and drawn by Rob Liefeld. Oh boy, where to start with this one? The story, what there is of it, has Major X going back to the beginning of X-Force to try and stop Cable or recruit him. It's unclear. It seems Major X and a white version of the Beast come from an alternate dimension which is crumbling because they lost their leader. The place is called Existence, yes, they're with an X at the front, and their leader is called Essential. Again with an X. I think it's supposed to say Essential, but I'm not sure. So when the world started to collapse, they teleported with a magic motorcycle to the regular world. So Major X and Beast beat up the entire X-Force, then Wolverine shows up, and they beat him up too. Cable eventually gets a drop on Major X, who is forced to actually explain himself, which he could have just done originally. But then Dreadpool shows up, who looks like a mix between Cable and Deadpool. He's there to kill Major X, it seems. He now beats up the entire X-Force, Wolverine and Major X, but luckily Deadpool shows up to save the day. Finally, Major X reveals that Cable is Essential, and that he is his son, even though he looks African American. Well, this was a show. The art was like a bad Image 90s ripoff. The story was filled with narration that was unreadable. I think Rob Liefeld has even gotten worse in both categories. This was so bad. I mean really bad. I'll keep reading though, since it might be so bad it could be fun to laugh at. 3 out of 10 though. Lastly, we have Uncanny X-Men number 15, written by Matthew Rosenberg with art by Salvador Larroca. Finally, onto a comic I like. Captain America has come to tell Scott to trust no one, especially the government, and leaves his business card if they need help. The X-Men get a lead on where Hope and the MLF are about to strike. It's another anti-mutant rally. The humans are asses and don't deserve to be saved, but when the MLF attacks, the X-Men jump in. Everything is going good until Scott notices Hope is MIA. He spots Banshee and has magic teleport him up to the roof where he finds Hope with a sniper rifle. She's upset that Cable is dead and now has become a soldier he trained her to be. Scott shoots Banshee with his eye beams, but Hope gets a drop on him with a pistol. Wolverine sneaks up behind her and slices her, but the gun goes off, shooting Scott in the head. Hope uses Scott's powers to blast Wolverine and jumps onto the sniper rifle to shoot the leader of the Anti-Mutants. She does, as Wolverine stabs her through the chest. Scott wakes up and is now a literal Cyclops, as his one eye was shot out. He finds out that Dark Beast has saved him and was experimenting on the techno-organic infected New Mutants. Scott flips out, but the New Mutants show up all healed. Turns out Warlock had split his essence amongst them to save them, and Beast was able to shift that to a new host. And that new host was one of Jamie's poor dupes, who is now writhing in pain, asking to die. This was an action-packed issue. Some might say too action-packed, but I can't complain too much when stuff actually happens. I like that Dark Beast is doing all this good stuff, since it will make his inevitable betrayal that much sweeter. For a second I thought they killed off Hope, but she stole a bit of Logan's healing factor, so she lived, and now all the MLF are locked in Harry's basement. I'm glad the New Mutants are healed, and I hope it's not a trick. Making Cyclops one-eyed is a bit rash, since the poor guy just got back. Can't we just have regular Cyclops for a bit? The art here is okay, but not Larroca's best. I already complained about the colors he had before, and then Marvel gave him a crappier one as a punishment, but who knows. Overall, pretty good issue, so it gets an 8. So we're all caught up. No more missing weeks for a while. I can't take having that many books to read. I'm still stunned at Major X. I wonder who Rob Liefeld has incriminating pictures of. Next week we're back to regular stuff, so that'll be good. See you there.